Okay, so 2.6.1 is our custom properties section, and initially we're talking about the shape properties are built in, as well as like just properties in general are built into this uh, into CMU CS Academy automatically, but we can actually add custom properties if we want to. We can always put values in there that aren't actually there. We can define them in our initialization area up top of the script itself to where we're adding information initially, right? If we look at this here itself, looking at some of this code right here, where we're creating this new property for our player, and we're adding the value of energy for uh, for this right here. So and you can see that as we click on it, we're trying to add energy to the player itself. It starts out red until we actually get to the value of 6, then it actually turns green. So we can rerun this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. It actually turns green. So basically, we're we're adding to the energy itself of this player and turning it into a green player by adding 6 clicks of energy. Uh, but this this value right here, energy, is something that we've actually made a custom property because we've basically named it something else, and we've defined this and added it to where we've actually added this property of energy to the player, and then we can actually manipulate it, much like making a variable. In this case, it's a property of player itself, right? So it does ask the question: do we have to name the property energy? And no, we can use the name that we prefer as a custom property because it is a custom property, right? So I could have named it anything up here. Uh, you could even be like so instead of energy, we could put color change, and then as long as we're manipulating color change here, we're using color change here, then it will work. See, it still does the same thing. Okay, so much like adding custom shape properties to a shape, right? We can also do it to the app itself, to the canvas itself. We can do custom properties to the canvas itself, right? So if we're looking at this right here, we'll notice that we're presetting the color of the background to gold, or the color of app to gold, right? With the color of the app at gold, initially, when it does this conditional, it's going to check to see if it's gold. If it is gold, then it's going to change it to crimson, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Uh, but we do have this preset. We're actually using uh, the app color in our borders as well when we're actually creating this value of the mouse click itself. So when we run this, we're initially gold. It changes to crimson, back to gold, back to crimson, back to gold, back to crimson. So it just goes back and forth, right? Because this conditional statement is making it go back and forth. But we initialize it as gold, so it kind of sets it up to where it works with the value. But then it asks this question. In the previous example, what happens if we put none in line 4 instead of gold? And if we were to do that, if we put none up here, and we rerun that, since it doesn't have anything in there initially, when we do that first click, it's not going to do a circle at all. But now that it had nothing, it set it to gold. So then it'll be gold, crimson, gold, crimson, gold, crimson. So nothing is drawn the first time that we do that. So we click that. So nothing is drawn the first time we press the mouse. Submit. Oops. Oh. Nothing is drawn the first time that we press the mouse, right? So there's that, and then it asks the question. So in the previous example, what happens if we forget to include line 4 and then we have nothing? So because app color is a custom property that we're adding to app, if we don't actually set up app color, it's going to have no value, right? So when we run this, it's going to freak out as soon as we push the button because we haven't set up that property of app color yet, right? So since it has no value, it's just going to crash. There is an error when we press the mouse, which is what happens. So we submit that, and we're good to go. So just like we could create custom properties for our shapes, we can also create custom properties for our app itself. So now we will go on to the next section, 2.6.2.